Sharif Cooper. So this is a right now, obviously, Celtics fans are pulling hard in one direction, and this appears to be the one.
Yeah, so he's a little undersized, 6'1",
A buck 60, maybe.
Yeah, he's really small. Obviously shined in high school. He's close with the guy I really liked last year, Isaac Okoro, who's in Cleveland now. They both kind of came up under his dad, who's running like a little agency out there in Atlanta. All their guys went out to Auburn. He had some eligibility issues at Auburn, so he didn't play a ton there. And he's a phenomenal passer, but the question's the shot. He was 22% from three, 39% at the field at Auburn. Gritty defender, I'd say. He's kind of Kemba-like in the positionally and compete-wise, he's sound, but again, really small. But he does project to be a really, really good passer, maybe even elite. And that's kind of what the Celtics need right now, isn't it?
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
But they took Juhann Begarin.
All right, he was my bonus pick on my.
So everyone right
earlier.
now, there's a lot of crying in Celtics Nation. You had a shot at that guy that slid, and every NBA analyst is like, "Wow, I can't believe that guy is there." Celtics had a chance to get him.
So this is the draft and stash. This guy's from Paris.
Yeah. So tell us about what you know here, Bobby.
So he's playing in Paris. Has obviously been playing overseas for quite a while now. He's from some island in the Caribbean and moved to France in his teenage years to go play professionally over there.
He's a wing type, right? More of a
yeah, I'm trying to think of a good comparison. His length is off the charts. I think he's got like 7'3", 7'4" length here. Explosive in transition, tall, just tons of burst and athleticism. But he won't be coming over here for a few years, I'd imagine. He's very raw. He's got a solid floor on his shot. I watched a lot of tape on him earlier because he was in my video as the top draft and stash option in the second round. But he's not going to project to be part of this team for a little while. He's got a decent amount of way to go on both ends of the floor. And him playing professionally overseas gives the Celtics a really good opportunity to kick this down the line.
Yeah, and again, 6'4", 6'5", a 7-foot wingspan.
That's very George Hill-like.
When
you talk about having that type of wing physique.
I really struggled to pronounce his name on the video earlier, John. You're gonna have to go watch it. It was bad.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it?
I'm gonna go with Begarin or Begarin, but I don't know.
No, the first name.
Oh, I'm just looking at Juhann here. I mean,
I was going Spanish like Juan. I was like, oh my God.
We'll see. They'll probably say it on the broadcast here, but again, by all accounts, NBA level athleticism, but
he has a 9-foot standing reach. His arms are really long.
As it is, elite physical skills, but the game needs refinement, and we talked about it prior to the draft. Draft and stash, from this position might be an option, particularly, because you have people you have people to fill roster spots who are whatever, and you have, some flexibility. Again, we'll see what they do with a lot of their moves to sign somebody into a mid-level. You have TPE. You could add some veteran players there to that roster that already has, you at least know, barring trade, Nesmith, Romeo, Pritchard, Mo Brown. You have a lot of younger players on here. So again, what are you going to do with another rookie that has to make the team? I think the draft and stash makes sense here. But again, what is the what are they missing out here by not taking Cooper?
Well, I think that they're looking to add more experience in the backcourt. I think they've kind of gone through this trial and error with young, undersized guards. I mean, he's not that much bigger than Tremont Waters. In fact, I think Tremont Waters probably is a little bit more solidly built. And Tremont, when he came to the Celtics, he was an SEC Defensive Player of the Year, right, despite his size. So I think that there are a lot of questions. And for the Celtics, do you really want to roll the dice on a guy who has a lot of, I think, physical question marks versus taking a guy that you can stash away who, from a physical standpoint, is everything you're looking for going forward? And you're able to get that in the middle of the second round. So it makes a lot of sense for the Celtics to go with our good friend from France.
Yeah, they don't want youth to be part of their rotation next year. They want to get a little bit older, as we've seen. They were looking at Nigel Hayes overseas, who obviously has seasoned his game a little bit more since college.
Yeah,
And
but other
free agents,
names,
of course. They don't have a lot of roster spots.
There were other names there: Weiskamp, Johnson, Boston.
Wieskamp was picked before them.
Oh, Wieskamp went before. Yeah. My bad. Boston was still out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he had a horrible year at Kentucky. He might go undrafted, frankly.
Don't forget about Massey, who's been like, it's crazy to think about Charles Massey. Just a couple years ago, it was like possible lottery pick, and now he may not even get drafted.
Oh my God, the way this shifts in a few years is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Especially with these young guys, you just never really know. Like, they're so early in their development. Like, you're going off like 20 games in a college season. It's tough.
I mean, look at a guy like Isaiah Todd, who's a second-round pick. I mean, when you yes, you made some money being in a G League, but damn, how much
Deshaun Nix, you're talking about undrafted with him out of that G League camp,
right?
Yeah,
but yeah, I got some notes here on Juhann. Obviously, nearly 9 foot standing reach. He's 215 pounds, so he already has a really chiseled, powerful frame. You'll get some semi vibes there. Gets to the rim a ton, but he only shot 50% there last year, which isn't great. But he's got a wide array of footwork moves, Euro steps, tons of control and speed on the transition runs. He's great in transition, gets above the rim on lobs. 34% catch and shoot threes last year, which isn't great. And he's a 60% free throw shooter. So the shot has a long way to go. The only other bad thing you hear about him too, great tools defensively, but doesn't really use them. Gets lost a bit off the ball. Doesn't have a great feel for defense, and doesn't have much craft handle on the ball. Right. You know, he's very raw as a ball handler.
And it is interesting at this point who's going to slip. You got 15 picks till you're slipping into undrafted free agent, and at least a handful of players that people thought were curious and possible selections here at 45. So you could end up with potential undrafted free agent that people were looking at that they might have taken a swing at here at 45. So again, nobody who's going to make a difference here this year. I don't mind the draft and stash pick because again, at this point, what are you looking for? It's a lottery ticket. You're trying to hit a home run here. You want to, I'll always take the guy with the elite physical. I'll take this guy over, I don't mean to trash him, but over a Grant Williams type, a guy who played productively at the college level, but their ceiling is what it's going to be because they're physically.
There was a prospect in this draft compared to Grant, and you got scared for a minute that, are they going to go in that kind of direction again?
But so those, Bobby, we joked about it before. You said, what do you do here? The worst type of pick to me would have been fill the need this guy can play, and I can stick him into next year's roster and as the 11th or 12th guy. Those do nothing for you. You can find those guys all over the place. Like, to me, you're taking a swing here. You don't want to be super risky when you're picking in the top 10, but when you're picking 45, sure, yeah, take an athletic guy, high upside, stash him, see what he comes back and what he can be for you. I think that's perfectly fine, particularly somebody who you think might also have some offensive upside. So fine, totally fine with the pick here. I don't know enough about Cooper to know whether or not this one's going to be a bad miss for them.
Dozens of teams agreed with the Celtics.
But a lot of people saw it that way too. So when a guy slides, it's one of those things where every NBA analyst who had him higher is like, what's everyone doing? And every team is like, yeah, none of us like this guy, but you guys like him for some reason. And it appears that Cooper is that guy. So,
Hi guys, Cedric Maxwell here. I want to take a minute to tell you about Marigold Medical. I'm used to keeping my body in great shape, but with arthritis, even the most simple everyday tasks became unbearable. As soon as I called Marigold Medical, I knew I was in good hands. No drugs, no surgery, just an experienced team of caring professionals that wanted to get me back to doing the things I love. Make the call to Marigold Medical and get back to pain-free life.